So I already filmed this video once. Didn't like how I looked, thought I looked really sick. That's like a perfect setup for the point of this video. Excuse the clutter in the background. What's up everyone, my name is Morgan Lee and welcome back to my channel. So if you read the title of this video, today we are doing the Authortube chronic illness and disability tag and I am so excited about it. If you are new around here, please consider giving this video a thumbs up, comment down below, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and let's go ahead and get on into the video. Question number 1, what chronic illness or disability do you have? Do you have multiple? Yes, I have multiple disabilities and technically only one chronic illness. So I have Crohn's disease. That is my chronic illness / disability. The list contains Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, I am autistic, I have ADHD, depression, anxiety, and most recently diagnosed with OCD. I'm still not 100% sure that is an accurate diagnosis, but I digress. Question number 2, have you had your chronic illness or disability your entire life? Some of them, yes, I've had my entire life, though they were only just recently diagnosed. For example, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is a genetic connective tissue disorder, so I was born that way. Autism is also another one that comes from birth, and ADHD, again, how my brain developed. Crohn's disease, anxiety, and depression are all acquired things. I would say the OCD, if that is an accurate diagnosis, then that too would be something that's relatively new. What healthy coping skills have you learned because of your chronic illness or disability? I had a hard time thinking of healthy coping mechanisms, not because I don't have any, but I was trying to figure out what they are. So what I wrote down in my notes was that I spend a lot of time reading and writing and kind of escaping reality. That's my healthy coping mechanism. And just watching things that are funny and evoke some other emotion other than sadness. Next question. Oh, now I have headphones on. Sorry, I was working if you're wondering why I have headphones on now. Question number 4, do you apply your experiences to your writing? So my experiences as they relate to my writing mainly come out in the themes. I write about a lot of darker themes, at least I think so. I like to talk about depression, anxiety, even sprinkle in like mortality and stuff like that, because my chronic illness has made me think more about those types of things. So I do sprinkle it in with my themes, but I do have 2 books planned, 2 works in progress that are going to dive specifically into 2 of my disabilities. Skeleton in My Bathroom is going to follow 19-year-old Cree, and she is a college student, her life is going well, and then all of a sudden she gets diagnosed with Crohn's disease. So it is a contemporary romance novel about just her dealing with that and her finding love, and it's going to be a feel-good, happy time. And then the other book that I have in mind is called Short, Black, and Asexual, and that will follow Willa, who is, I'm not sure if I'm going to make her a high school student or a college student, but it's going to follow Willa, who is autistic and asexual and black and short, hence the title of the story. And I don't have her fully fleshed out yet as far as what exactly is going to happen in this story, but it's going to deal a lot with disability and identity. So I'm really excited about both of those books. So yeah, I do like to put my own experiences into my writing. And yes, both of those are kind of like a little bit of a self-insert, because both of those characters are kind of big representations of elements about myself. So yay for self-inserts. Question number 5. How does your chronic illness or disability alter your writing routine? Drastically. With a chronic illness and with disabilities, you have to assess how you feel every single day. Every day you're not going to feel 100% or even 80 or 70 or 60. You don't know how you're going to feel. With me personally, I deal with a lot of joint pain that comes from, I feel like, both my Crohn's disease and my EDS, because I have hypermobile joints, and everything's kind of stretchy and floppy. So I have a lot of joint pain, so I never know if I'm going to wake up and have a high pain day. Brain fog is another one, and then with ADHD, just not being able to focus, and then with autism, just being overstimulated or understimulated. There's a lot to combat. So I kind of just have to go with the flow of my body that day. Writing doesn't happen every day because of those things. So I have to alter my routine based on how I'm feeling at that given moment in that given day. And you have to schedule around doctor's appointments as well, or infusions. That's a hassle too. But you can write during infusions, but they make me really sleepy. So then I just end up sleeping through it. So question number 6. How does it impact your writing style, topics, characters, etc.? So sort of like I answered in the earlier question, where I put a lot of it into my themes and the situations and the message of the story. It's kind of the same thing. I put a lot of my experiences into my characters, but it's just something that is important to me and it affects my life so much in so many different ways that a lot of people in my real life don't understand. And so when I do write fiction or when I do write poetry, I'm doing it so that these people can come to better understand the chronically ill and the disabled community, because I feel like a lot of able-bodied people ignore and diminish the disabled and chronic illness community. So I feel that a lot, that I need to speak about it in the things that I create, because people are just going to keep regurgitating what they've been told or what their prejudices or their wrong ideology. Those things are kind of hard to come by sometimes. So I just want to spread awareness, I guess. So I tend to do that through my characters and themes and stuff like that. So, question 7. What about your chronic illness or disability has surprised you? Thought long and hard about this one. The number one thing that is surprising to me is, this is borderline sad, but it is how lonely it can get and how exhausting it can be, just simply existing. I say lonely first because in the real world, like in the physical world of like my family and those who are around me, like in my actual life, I guess, none of them have chronic illnesses. And most of them, I won't say none of them, most of them aren't disabled. There's not that connection of understanding, which is one of the reasons that I really love that the internet exists and that there's online communities for people to relate to each other and share an experience. Just like, that's why I love the Authortube community, is because we can all get together virtually and talk and share about something that we love. And it's the same thing with like a disability or chronic illness, that you get to gather with people and complain about the same thing and have people get it. So it surprised me how much my life would change, how lonely it can be, and how exhausting it is just to get through a day when neurotypical, able-bodied people can they seem to just be able to just do stuff, and then there's me who can't just do stuff. So that has been surprising, especially as I get diagnosed with different things, like finding out I was autistic and finding out I have ADHD. It's a learning curve, really, to be able to accept yourself as you are and not mourn. Well, you can mourn the loss of like I guess, mourn the loss of what you had, but to also come into acceptance of where you are right now. Question number 8. How did your family react? So, funny story. The only thing that my family knows that I have is Crohn's disease, anxiety, and depression. They don't know, like, officially that I am autistic, have ADHD, or have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And like, okay, they kind of know, because I kind of drop it in a little bit, like in conversation. I was like, and then I was talking to my doctor about ADHD. What do you think about that? So I drop hints, but I don't want to go into the conversation of being dismissed and people saying, oh no, you can't have that, you don't have that. So those, they don't really know. And I doubt they're gonna watch this video or take me seriously. It's not something that they can see, you know? And then Crohn's, my mom and dad were very supportive, took me to all the doctor's appointments, stayed with me in the hospital, you know, the whole thing. The only kind of regret that I have is that I don't feel like a lot of people took the time to really learn about what I had and make accommodations for me. Yeah, I feel like I harbor a lot of guilt for the things that I'm not able to do because I don't feel like the people around me understand. And that could just be a me thing and they are all super understanding and I'm just making something out of nothing. But that is just how I feel. Question 9. What do you do to celebrate your chronic illness or disability? Really quick, editing Morgan here. I just wanted to say that I completely answered number 9 wrong. It does not say, how do you celebrate? It says, what do you celebrate about your chronic illness or disability? So I want to answer that correctly. I celebrate the fact that it has given me compassion. It has given me a new perspective and a new outlook on the world and on the value of life, basically. I celebrate the fact that it has connected me to a bunch of fantastic people who I don't feel like I would have seen if I wasn't a part of the community. Another thing that I celebrate is my own uniqueness as a special and unique human being. With that one, I'm mainly thinking of like being autistic and being diagnosed with ADHD, and just the fact that my brain does work differently, and having that answer. Even with all the challenges and difficulties, I celebrate the fact that I can finally 100% just come into my identity. Even though I'm not fully there yet, I'm on the path to making that happen and on the path to just being more self-aware and being more conscientious of not only myself but other people around me in my life. So while it is tough and hard sometimes with, you know, doctor's appointments and procedures and millions of colonoscopies every other year, I celebrate the fact that it has made me who I am and that it has basically helped to shape my identity and mold my outlook on the world. So, and question 10. What is your favorite form of self-care? My all-time favorite form of self-care has got to be watching movies that I love, movies that I have memorized the entire script to, movies that I know the ins and outs of every scene, and watching that movie and then acting out that movie, just loving it and living life. I love that. Like, love musicals, so any musical, but the main ones being Sweeney Todd. I love that one. Titanic, not a musical, but Titanic is my favorite movie of all time. So I know that movie from front to back. I love watching it, to act it out. It just makes me feel good to do that. So that is my favorite form of self-care because it takes my mind off of things, and it's just fun and it's comforting, and I don't have to do anything. I can just be with the movie, and I just love it. And then of course, like the standard things like writing and reading, which I've already mentioned in my coping skills. So yeah, that's my favorite form of self-care. All right, I did it. This video is still long, but I did it. That is the tag. Let me know what you thought down in the comments. I don't have anything else to say. If you're not subscribed, please give this video a thumbs up. Comment down below. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. And I will see you in another video. I don't know what my hands are doing today. Bye.